Did you know that millions of people are stuck living paycheck to paycheck, no matter how hard they work? It's shocking, right? Today we're diving deep into the real reasons behind this. And trust me, it's more than just the cost of living rising. We're talking about hidden factors, surprising statistics, and the very structure of the economy that keeps so many people trapped in this cycle. Stick around because understanding these insights could be the first step to breaking free. Let's get into it. The cost of living has surged dramatically in recent years, affecting everyone but especially those with lower and middle incomes. Statistics show that housing, healthcare, and education costs have increased by over 50% in the past 2 decades, while wages have struggled to keep pace. According to a study by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the median income has grown by only about 15% in the same time frame, creating a significant income gap. This means that most people's purchasing power is shrinking each year, even as they work just as hard. Why it matters. When essential costs like housing and healthcare eat up over half of your paycheck, it becomes nearly impossible to save or invest for the future. For instance, in many metropolitan areas, the average rent can easily consume 30 to 40% of one's income, leaving little for other essentials, let alone savings. Another core reason why millions live paycheck to paycheck is stagnant wages. Over the last few decades, productivity has increased significantly, yet wages haven't followed suit. According to the Economic Policy Institute, productivity rose by 72% between 1979 and 2020, while wages for the average worker only increased by around 12%. This wage gap means that while workers are producing more value, they're not seeing a proportional increase in their pay. Why it matters. This disconnect between productivity and wages means that the average person is working harder without reaping the benefits. With inflation further eating into stagnant wages, the cycle becomes harder to break. Debt plays a massive role in keeping millions in financial limbo. Many people carry significant debt burdens from credit cards, student loans, and medical bills. In the United States, the average household has around $7,000 in credit card debt, with interest rates that can climb as high as 25%. Similarly, student debt has ballooned to a staggering $1.7 trillion, with millions making monthly payments that eat into any savings potential. Why it matters. Debt payments take priority in a paycheck, often leaving people with little left for savings or investments. The high interest rates on credit cards in particular create a cycle where the minimum payment barely covers the interest, making it difficult to pay off the principal. Life is unpredictable, and unexpected expenses can easily derail financial stability. According to a Federal Reserve report, around 40% of Americans would struggle to cover a $400 emergency expense. Without adequate savings, an unexpected car repair, medical bill, or home repair can force people into debt, adding more strain on their paycheck-to-paycheck lifestyle. Why it matters. The lack of an emergency fund creates a situation where people are one expense away from financial crisis. This type of insecurity forces individuals to rely on credit, deepening the cycle of paycheck dependency. Consumer culture and societal expectations play a role in driving spending. With social media highlighting lifestyles that are often beyond reach, people feel pressured to keep up. This keeping up with the Joneses mentality can push people to spend on non-essential items or live beyond their means, ultimately leading to more financial strain. Why it matters. While everyone deserves to enjoy life, the pressure to live up to a certain image can divert funds from savings and investments. By prioritizing lifestyle spending over financial security, many find themselves stuck in a cycle of overspending and financial stress. Financial literacy is crucial for building wealth, but it's shockingly absent from most educational curricula. Without the tools to understand budgeting, investing, or debt management, people often make financial mistakes that could have been avoided. A National Endowment for Financial Education study found that nearly 80% of adults admit to needing better financial education. Why it matters. A lack of financial knowledge means that people are often unaware of how to manage money effectively, plan for future goals, or avoid high-interest debt. This gap in knowledge perpetuates the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, as many don't know where to begin in breaking free from it. Healthcare costs in the United States are among the highest in the world, and even insured individuals can face astronomical bills for treatments, medications, and hospital visits. A study by the Kaiser Family Foundation showed that medical debt is a significant factor in financial instability, with millions struggling to pay off healthcare-related expenses. Why it matters. Medical costs often contribute to debt accumulation, which further eats into the budget. When a large portion of income goes to healthcare, it leaves little for other essentials, creating a vicious cycle of dependency on each paycheck. While inflation is a natural part of the economy, in recent years it has risen faster than average income, squeezing budgets even further. Essentials like groceries, utilities, and transportation have seen some of the highest inflation rates. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Consumer Price Index showed an average inflation rate of about 5.4% in 2023, which outpaced wage growth for many. Why it matters. When the cost of goods rises faster than income, people find themselves unable to maintain the same quality of life without cutting corners or taking on debt. This creates a financial gap that's difficult to close without additional income sources. The gig economy has grown significantly, but it's often not as financially stable as traditional employment. Many gig workers face inconsistent income, lack of benefits, and no paid leave, making it challenging to plan finances or save for the future. According to a report by the Federal Reserve, around 30% of gig workers report difficulty covering basic expenses. Why it matters. Without stable, predictable income, it's hard to budget effectively. Many gig workers end up living paycheck to paycheck because they can't rely on a steady income, which creates financial instability and limits opportunities for saving. Even those with stable jobs often struggle to save due to the high cost of living. The personal savings rate in the U.S. dropped to about 2.3% in 2023, one of the lowest rates seen in decades. Without sufficient savings, even minor setbacks become crises, perpetuating a cycle where people depend heavily on each paycheck to get by. Why it matters. When individuals lack savings, they have no buffer against financial setbacks. This means any disruption, such as a job loss or unexpected expense, can quickly turn into a financial disaster. Student debt is a significant factor in the financial lives of millions, especially younger generations. With the average college graduate owing around $30,000 in loans, many find themselves allocating a substantial portion of their income to debt repayment, limiting their ability to save or invest early in their careers. Why it matters. Starting adulthood with debt creates a financial handicap that affects long-term wealth building. The need to prioritize debt over savings or investment hinders financial growth, pushing people into a paycheck-to-paycheck lifestyle. Many people don't have access to affordable financial advice, which limits their ability to make informed financial decisions. Hiring financial planners or advisors is often out of reach for those already struggling financially, and this lack of guidance can lead to poor financial choices. Why it matters. Accessible financial advice can help people make better decisions, prioritize their financial goals, and avoid common pitfalls. Without it, many individuals face unnecessary challenges that perpetuate the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. Breaking free from the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle isn't easy, but it's possible. Whether it's by finding ways to reduce debt, understanding budgeting, or learning more about financial planning, there are steps anyone can take to regain control. Remember, every small change can make a big difference over time, and by being mindful of these hidden factors,